Welcome to CATtheMinion Patreon. This is going to be a Gemini deep dive reading for September. And so that's for anyone who is Gemini Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Venus. If you're feeling the pull of this North Node Gemini energy, or anyone else who feels drawn to this reading. So this is going to be based on my life purpose reading that I have. That's $101. And the main difference between this and that is that I'm keeping the main body of the reading, but instead of using 6 oracle cards, I'm using the charms. So I have the mini Rider-Waite. This is going to be representing past energy. I have the Lover's Oracle, which is going to be representing present energy, and I have the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit cards, which will be representing potential future energies. I'm going to start shuffling these out while I'm talking about this. Okay. So this reading has 3 sections. One is overview of the life purpose, and the middle is work related to the life purpose, and the far end is relationships related to the life purpose. And each section has past, present, and future. And the way that it works is that the overview is like who you are, and the work is what you do, and the relationship is how you do it. So it's not specifically your entire life purpose forever and ever. It's like a little snapshot or a slice on a microscope slide, or a little cross section that's part of your overall life purpose that's up for review and work during the time of September as the energies dictate. And then the work is not necessarily your job that you go to every day. It's like what you're doing work on in your life that's related to your overall life purpose. Okay, so these two, and then this one by itself. I'm going to turn these upside down because I'm going to try to read them before it's time if I can see them very clearly. It just helps me not look at them before it's time. So I don't do reversals with this deck anyway, so it should be alright. Where was I? Oh, the relationships is not necessarily like you and your romantic partner. I mean, it could be, but it's like you and your it's how you interact with other people in general. It could have aspects related to your family or any potential romantic interests. It just depends on what cards come through, but generally it's like how you interact with other people. What are the themes? What issues tend to come up, and how that relates back to the overall life purpose. It's like how does interacting with other people relate back to what you're supposed to be working on in your lifetime. I still don't like that. Still not convinced. Okay, that works. Sometimes the energy just not right. So this is the romantic, the relationship sector. So past, present, potential, future. And then I'm laying out the cards for the work. Now, even though I'm using the Romance Oracle, a lot of these have to do with emotional content in some way. And I'm using these 3 decks because that is what was calling to me when I went to Rummage to see what I needed for this reading. I don't want all 3 of those. Getting there. So this is going to be past, present, and future in terms of work. I don't think that one didn't come out all the way on its own. I think this goes here. Not sure about that one. That energy is wrong. Still doesn't seem right. Just go this way. Yeah, I think that's better. Wait. Still not right. Different part of the plan. I think that goes there. No one that flipped over, but I'm going to leave it for the next section because I think it goes there. So this is the overall here that I'm working back into. Look at this. You fucking slid all over the table. Noah's Ark fucking Titanic situation over here. That I've been doing these readings that sometimes I have to pull clarifiers and not just for the knights out of the Uno deck. Because those are, I use the wild cards as knights and I have to get a clarifier card for the suit. But I'm finding that in some of these readings I need clarifier cards and or clarifier charms. Although if I try to get clarifier charms, half the box dumps out, which is annoying. That's alright. Nope. Okay, that feels better. Alright, so where's this one that flipped over? So we're gonna use that one. Doesn't seem right. Don't go there. Okay, that's right. tell how if they go that way by the way the cards are. I think this is wrong though. I don't like that. Like that. Okay. So let me check my view here, see if I got everybody. So all the cards are on the screen. I'm gonna put the charms out after the section. So here they are, hanging out in the box here. And I'm gonna put this here so I remember to do them after this section. So we're gonna start with the past of the life overview here. So you have the Magician inverted. This is mercurial energy, which could be Virgo or Gemini, but it might be that Gemini node, or it could be before Virgo season started. But we have a masculine here. So it could be like the archetypal masculine, because we have the masculine as the Magician, and then the feminine is the High Priestess. But maybe we'll get back to that. So then we have the King of Swords. Okay, so probably the masculine. A 1 or a 14. Breaking down to a 5, which is a shift or a pivot, or the Hierophant. And then I have the 10 of Pentacles inverted. Okay, so we have a 14, we have somebody in balance, but with an 11 out upside down around him. I can think through my life. Oh, the King of Swords too, that's... Okay, so this is Gemini's reading anyway. So we have Gemini showing up in your own reading, feeling less than magical. We have lack of material completion, right? So like, and then we have the King of Swords. Where is he? Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay. So he holds the Sword of Truth, which contains bits from all of the air signs. So he has some Gemini energy, but he's sitting here in the clouds with his Capricornian and Aquarian energy. What's the 10? 10 of Pentacles is Mercury in Virgo. Alright, so like I said, this could be before Virgo season because of this. And then we have Mercury in Virgo. And this is in the past. So sort of like saying before now, I could think my way all up and down what the hell I was doing, but I couldn't secure myself any kind of material abundance. Right? I can make myself rich in my mind, but even if I use Miracle Grow, I can't make anything fucking happen in terms of what I've got. Just got a little bit of Lady Madonna trying to make ends meet in my head. Okay, so let's look at these cards. This is a cyclical thing. We had a 10 there, which is a completion, so we're trying to move into a new cycle. We had 10 and 111. 10 and 111 here. A king could be a 1 or 11, so there's this idea of ones breaking down over and over again and reducing. So each one is a new cycle. And then we have this. So we have this idea of growth. We're in this root energy, and we're going through these like summer to winter cycles, right? Before Virgo, during Virgo, after Virgo, when the summer is really in its stride. Then we have this sort of greenish and purplish energy, which is happening right now. It's giving me this idea of, I think Pluto is also retrograde right now, but we have Uranus and Neptune retrograde, and we have this dark energy swirling around. Now Uranus is air energy here. Aquarius. But the card came in upright in the past. Although it could mean before Uranus retrograde, nothing was happening for you either. And then we have this solar center here. Like in my gut. In my solar center, there's no magic happening. I don't know what my true self is. I'm not aligned with myself. I feel no magic in my life. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. So we have, life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You'll be surprised where it leads. Wait. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. So again, this idea of going with the flow and following the course. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, right? Here, it's all mind. Now we need no mind. The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul, right? And then we have all this solar energy here where the core of your being rests in your body. And there's no emotional content in the past. So, in this potential future here of this overall purpose for Gemini, we have horse and tarantula. There's a song, I think it's in From Dusk Till Dawn, by a group called Tito and Tarantula. And it's called After Dark. And we see the horse has the moon on his third eye. And I saw this horse card come down. And I was thinking in my head, a horse is a horse, of course, of course. Unless that horse, of course, is the famous Mr. Ed. But I was thinking of it in terms of the chariot, where you need 2 horses, and there was 2 cards here. But obviously there isn't a second horse card unless you count the unicorn, which may or may not show up. But the tarantula has 8 legs, and it's inverted. Just giving me this idea of, like, a little bit of lack of strength. But we have 8 here. I mean, we have an earth elemental, but we could be shying away from doing work. Or in the case of this, we have wands, 8 wands inverted, lack of movement, lack of communication. But notice we have these lower chakra energies, solar plexus, root energy, and the sacral chakra. Now here, there's the same reddish energy, but we're starting this sort of lime green heart chakra energy here. Horse has 4 legs, tarantula has 8 legs. Together that's 12 legs, which might be giving some hanged man energy. We have a knight who's off his horse. He's over here hanging on a tree. But I'll get into these in a minute. Whale. Okay, so here we have this chakra energy, and here we have a little bit of the higher energies of the violet and indigo. And the whale is able to take a deep breath of air and go down into the deep water and hold his air into the emotional content. And then come back up and breathe in new air, which is like refreshing your thoughts. And we have firefly. So we have some more of this lime and orange energy with this other stuff in here. But I get this sense of, like, after going deep into your feelings, you're providing your own glow. So let me look in here. I want to see what tarantula is like, because I don't think I've gotten that card very much. What page is that on? 31, maybe. So at a crossroad and claiming life's purpose. Now what's interesting is I just finished reading The Great and Secret Show by Clive Barker, and there was a character in it who's obsessed with this idea of crossroads, but they missed the point because they were taking it literally. A habit or routine from the past is sidetracking you from your dream. A voice inside keeps begging you to refocus your attention. It says, in order to find true happiness, you must choose Dharma, which is your life's purpose, which is exactly what this is about. Until you do, satisfaction will be fleeting. I can't get no satisfaction. Okay, so in this out of balance position, it's hesitation and over intellectualization, right? I'm overthinking it. It's like, on the other hand, but on the other hand, on the other 6 hands. So horse is an earth creature, and we do have earth element here, but we're having a hard time getting those seeds to grow. 87. It's like Topol. It's like, on the other hand. Ah, okay. So trying to overcome your sense of your ingrained habit of overthinking with momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. You're right. He's sturdy. He can go fast. Like, especially wild horses. So there's like another Rolling Stones reference, right? Wild horses couldn't tear me away. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practice. Physical stamina, exercise, and mental focus, meditation, are the secret weapons behind the horse's legacy. Okay? So this is like, don't give up. Try to ground yourself. Meditation, exercise. Don't only think. Try to get into this physical element of this earth energy. Otherwise, your magic will never obtain any of the other tools if you only ever use the sword. No, that's not right. What does that even fucking say? 117. That's what I get for writing it upside down. What in the ass crap does it say? I wish people would stop slamming that fucking door downstairs. It's pissing me off. Yeah. Delve deeper. Profound peace, ancient wisdom. Emotional health and stability. Compassion and communication, right? King of Swords should be able to communicate. And if he's the king, then he's not just, stabbing people who disagree with him. He's balanced, and he's willing to consider things before making a decision. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. So calm and steady and deeply compassionate. So the Firefly. I'm thinking of that show, Firefly, with the sci-fi western thing. This idea of like futuristic. But here it says inspired and fantastic yet fleeting. I bet that cuts deep for any fans. It was only 1 season. How dare they? The light of 1,000 stars. Quick moment of inspiration or awakening that fades if you don't catch it. So it's like writing, creating, and brainstorming. So this is like an emotionally in tune version of the thinking. It's like I'm making magic with my mind. I'm not trying to only use my magic to force the material world to give in to me. So it's sort of like going deep into your feelings to try to overcome these bad habits, and doing the grounding and the meditation creates this like brilliant like brainstorm eureka, I've got it moment, and the horse is like, I've picked up the signal and I am now, it's like the Pony Express is now in operation. So let's get some additional information. I'm not using that section yet. Thank you very much. The only flaw in the section I'm not using yet. I think that's it. Okay, most of them fell over here. Okay. Science, bitches. Right, this is like this is like the thinking man's version of magic. I'm doing science. I'm making cool shit happen. Look at this. Look what I made and put together. I am synthesizing. So now going the other way, I have this 16 tons. It looks like a cowbell, but it's like a 16-ton weight. This is a little bit like the tower, but it's in reverse, which tells me, gives me this idea of a controlled demolition. I'm doing this work and restructuring myself from the inside out. I'm not having this dumped on me. I'm in control. I'm in control of the experiment. I'm mixing the elements. Now the shoe is going the other way too. This is sort of like I'm running to get there. But it's like I feel like it's saying, in the past I've run away from my feelings, and in the future I'm going to use them fluid to my advantage. Now here in the middle on this wait, don't rush into it, allow nature to take its course, we have this yin-yang symbol here, this balance. I need to figure out the light and the dark, and it looks like a masculine and a feminine here too, so it's like I need to be balanced in my own self between the different aspects of myself. All right. Alright, so we're gonna get into work. So, I mean, this is actually really simple. The overall life purpose, at least this little slice, I should have a, I need a microscope, a mirror. What's the other thing I was thinking of? Oh, a mirror and a magnifying glass. Making little notes of charms that I need to add to my little pile there. Alright, so in the future, no, in the past, in terms of work, the 7 of Cups is a challenge. I'm having a hard time figuring out my emotions because I'm overthinking them, right? These clouds here. This is the King here, and he's looking at his emotions and he's trying to analyze them mentally. And he ends up with this 7 number, half of the balance. And he can't seem to get through it. It goes on this sort of like magical fantasy ride every time he tries to look at an emotion. 7 of Cups, Venus and Scorpio, which may or may not be relevant. Oh, here's the boat going the other way. And the alternate Ace of Swords. I know what these are. I know what it is. So here's the 6 of Wands in the same place as the King of Swords. Now what's interesting is this guy is on the horse, but in the past, for some reason, he was like running away from from whatever. But this is Jupiter in Leo. Sagittarius energy. Leo energy. This is like, I'm fancy. I'm the cock of the walk. I win. I have victory. But when it's over, we don't know. But what fell out of the box prematurely here, I have this alternate Ace of Swords, the trowel, right? A spade. It gives me this idea of like, I need to dig deeper for the truth. Right? I'm putting on a great show, but the next card after this is the Seven of Wands, which is, oh, now that I'm king of the hill, I've got to beat everybody off with a rake to defend my position. Now this rowboat here, I can get it without breaking it. This rowboat, to me, is akin to the Six of Swords. I'm sailing away from the bullshit. Mercury and Aquarius. But when that card's inverted, it tells me I'm going down into the depths of Hades, into the darkness of my feelings. I'm digging deeper for the truth in a water, like, boat emotional way. And this would be related to this scorpionic energy up here. I'm just going to keep the boat flipped over so it's, if you can even see it on the screen, it'll be more obvious what it is. And then we have the sun. So Leo again. 19 breaking down to a 10. So we have a 10 here and a 10 here. We have all this wands energy. Which is interesting because it's like the whole point of the overall life purpose is to get into your core being. And we start out with this magician of like, I don't understand where the energy comes from. I don't know how to do these tools. But in work, it's like, oh yeah, when I go to work, I'm using wands. Which is a little bit disjointed. I'm kind of perplexed. What is all this Leo? I'm gonna get a clarifier card because I'm baffled here, man. That one flipped over. Let me see. These cards are so small; they flip over so easily. But maybe I don't see one that's overturned right now. But let's see what this is. Okay. So the Three of Pentacles inverted. Mars in Capricorn. Okay, so we have Saturn retrograde, Mars energy. And I believe Mars is still in Aries doing that last ego showdown. This guy with his flame-colored lyra pipe here. Oh, and my battery's gonna crap out too. What was that energy? Mars in Capricorn? Alright. It's like your castle has no foundation. You're strutting around like you built something. But the dungeon's about to crumble. Interesting. And now we have the sun in Capricorn. Wow. Both of these Capricorn energy. I get this. I just heard in my head. It's like I'm sitting on a gold mine. You're not gonna get to 10 Pentacles if the plants you're going are so choked with weeds because you refuse to get rid of anything that they all die before they can spread out and create a bigger flow of energy. Right? It's not going with the flow. It's hoarding. Your basement is full of dirty old socks and broken pianos and rusty soda signs from the 50s. Okay. Now, this isn't to be an insult to Gemini, because this is the 4th reading I've done today, so they're all running together, but I think it was Aries that got a real kick in the pants, too. These energies aren't effing around. But in the past, right? It's like I can't figure out my feelings, and I'm having a hard time knowing what I need and what I don't need. So I'm just going to pretend I'm good, even though I really need to go deeper. Alright, I'm gonna shine so brightly that nobody's gonna see the pile of crap behind the curtain. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So we have this, what looks like sexy times. Very fiery. Could be Gemini, the twins, the lovers. And we have here, it looks like one is consuming the other. Right? I'm going to swallow you whole. Starting to look like a horror movie there. But now, we're like, no, just kidding. Let's just be nice with each other. Alright, so this charm came out on this one. Let's see what this is. Ah, the railroad crossing. It's like this chariot stops for no one. But this out of control railway car, the number 7, the chariot, might actually be the tower combining its numbers together. Right? It's like I'm in a hurry to get to the top. I'm going to use any means necessary. Like, I want to get there faster. Again, with this idea of, like, I'm not willing to prune my weeds, because if I get rid of any pentacles, then I will have less, and I'll have to go back and do more. I'm like, I'm skipping that step. We're going to go and just, you know, let it do the thing. So let me see what this actually says on the front. Passion. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. Which is coming into the present. Right? It's like this in the past, right? Who's that guy? He's sexy. Or her, whatever. Like, yeah, there's something about them. I can't seem to look away. It just got, like, rainy, windy out. And then this one, power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or walk away at any time. Right? You have the power, but you're sort of psyching yourself out of it. You have the power to get rid of these things. You're the king. You can say what stays and goes. Trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. Do I have any 13 energy here? I do have a 13. So I have 10 here, the sun, breaking down. And then I have 3 here, 13. That's a transformative energy. I have 6 and 4 here, that's 10. And then I could add the 3, 13. I have 7 over here. And 6, 13. But I also see an 11 popping through as well. Interesting. Okay. So this potential future here. Sea serpent. Okay. Now I did say, which one was it? What did I say? Maybe it was the other reading. I could have sworn I said in here somewhere sacral energy. Maybe on the tarantula. Even though this card is blue, this has to do with the sacral chakra. It's the deep waters that you come from, right? The whale is in the deep waters here. Where you gestate, where you're born, where you begin your new life cycle. And it has to do with sort of confidence and knowledge of the self and the power center that drives the Kundalini energy upward into the solar center, where you get this knowing of who you are. It's also on a horse. I don't think I need to read the book for that because I read that one recently. So we have vulture. This is air energy. This is a little bit like I'm out to get you energy. Like, haha, let me sell you this crap. But vulture actually is misunderstood. And we see this purple crown energy just sort of like heat rising off the vulture. Right? What do? They come after the transformation, the death cycle, and they pick the meat off the bones to keep flies from festering, like, and diseases from spreading with the maggots and the flies and all that. All right, so they consume the carrion, and then they poop it out into something that's less toxic to the environment around it. Okay, I am gonna skim in the book for that in a minute, though. Right, it's like I'm cleaning up after my transformation of myself. I'm picking up the hoarding crap stuffed in the corner. I'm getting rid of the stuff that I don't need anymore. Scorpion. Another fire elemental. This is a little bit like I'm going to sting you, but notice we have this sacral energy and then this heart energy as well. I'm going to have to read that too. But let me skim the vulture first, because I think I got most of the gist of this. 63, I think. Eventually I'll get the hang of this deck. It's very difficult for me, and I don't know why. Guardian and Purifier, essential for rebalance. This idea of misunderstanding, right? Yeah. What you thought was a mistake or a tragedy is a blessing in disguise. 125. Passionate, contemplative, tends towards isolation. So here's this concept of passion again. Career is important to them, as are a select few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers and they focus on an unresolved event from the past. Usually a situation where they are left feeling burned. Right, so it says, come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual self. Okay, so you have, in this position, jealous, resentful, and unresolved. Okay. So this, it seems like in the future of this work, that whatever is being realized right now about the past, there's this idea that there's this fire energy that wasn't in the right place, right? It was like, I put all my effort and passion into these things, but what really happens is my plans crumbled, and I realized I was holding a bunch of stuff that was worthless, and now I'm in my head, I'm up my ass in my own head with my feelings about it. There. It's about as close as I can get to the right words for that. Right, so it's sort of like, in the immediate potential near future, it's like you're still trying to work on this resentment of, you know, sort of a false glory. But what's interesting is you start out as the King of Swords, balanced. So it's like your clarity of mind is well in hand. It's the other three elements that are causing you problems. But these two cards popping up upright is sort of like a pass to clean it up in your own life. Like you can do it as long as you don't dwell on it. Okay, I think that's it. Back in there. Fucking goose is trying to climb out of the box. Okay, so over here, near this little kid with the sun card, and this king all hunched over, trying to hold on to these, like, oh, look, these are full of sunny goodness. This is the I can't brain today, I have the dumb, which is essentially this card. And next to it, I have the winter hat. Right? They're not going to pull the wool over my eyes anymore. Right? Because it was turned around. Now, on this trust card here, with this transformation, I have Jupiter going the other way. Now, I don't know if Jupiter is in retrograde, but it's giving me this idea of the wheel is turning, right? Because that's Jupiter energy. But also looking away, it gives me a little bit of that south node Sagittarius energy as well. Or it's like, I always, like, you don't need luck on your side anymore once you do this transformation. You won't have to rely on chance. Okay. Alright. You instinctively know what's right for you. You have the power to say no or walk away at any time. Right? If you eat too much sugar, it's going to make you sick. That's basically what that one's doing. And then passion, I have this leaf here. I almost get this as like a fig leaf, like suddenly backing out and getting shy. It's like when you're, it doesn't have to be like sexual, but it's like when you're in reach of that which you want the most, do you suddenly clam up and be afraid of it? So over here, I have this tulip going the other way, and I think this has, again, to do with this idea of, and it was going the other way next to the vulture. Right, there's like a huge market for tulips, and there was a big like stock market crash in Holland in the 1600s. So when I see the tulip, it often makes me think of that, and I get this idea of things that aren't really worth that much in reality, like in the grand scheme of reality, but have inflated value, and then you realize that they're not worth anything. It's kind of like the diamond market. It's, you know, well, I'm not gonna into it because I'll get all cranky, but it goes back to this energy. The vulture is going to eat that up. Now over here with the scorpion, I have the star. Right? This is the day after the tower. It's I have hope for the future. I'm healing. Landing on this Scorpion who's in a kind of a crabby position and wants payback. Right? It's like the tower is down. You know, you can't go back in time and shove them into the building because it's already fallen down. Right? You're not going to be able to put that egg back together just to break it again. Okay. So let's look at this in terms of relationships. So there's the death. There's death right there. Speak of the devil. Okay, son of a bitch right there. This is transformation, release, death, moving on to the next world, shuffling loose the coil of the status quo. And there was 13s all up in here in the past. And this is in the challenge position because we're trying to get over it. Put it on the floor and get over it. So here's the 5 of Swords inverted, right? I'm gonna stop playing these mind games with myself. There's a much more fun way to play with yourself. Which is funny because one of the charms I have is a book of the Kama Sutra. That was a joke. You should be laughing. I'm not laughing because I do it deadpan. I do it deadpan. Which also I should have a frying pan in here. The frying pan. I do have a snake. Where's my energy? Where's my energy? Venus in Aquarius. Okay. Uranus retrograde. Venus was retrograde though recently, so this could be signaling like a few weeks ago in the past. Venus was still retrograde. I don't know if this was... I think this was this way. Knight of Wands inverted. I lied. I think this goes sideways. I think this is in the challenge position. It's like I get this idea. It's like this isn't really my horse, but I'm gonna make it look like I ride it all the time, right? This is like, this belongs to the little kitten over here. It's the same gray horse. But I want to ride the fiery steed. Right? This is the horse I want to ride. But in the past, we can't... It's like this sort of foretelling of the Hanged Man energy. Like, I can't seem to manifest this motion that I want to move forward at this trot. Instead, I have ended up with the trots. Okay, right? I'm sad. I'm depressed. I can't... This is giving me Narcissus energy more than sad, though. It's like when I look in the mirror, I see someone who doesn't seem real. I might get back to that. It's giving me like mixed signals. Oh, so now we have sexy times again. This joining of the twin energies, which would be normal for Gemini. This is like a force field around the two people. This is, we can't... Like, I can't seem to get my energies together. Once my energies are together, I don't want anyone else coming in. Oh, this one's a double. Okay, this is like, I'm working on healing. I'm starting to get the idea. And now, instead of crying, I'm letting my solar light shine from within. And this is like, oh, now I'm happy in my little force field. I'm starting to feel emotions instead of just, I need to generate some kind of energy. So we have emotions. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. That's this right here. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. So that's what Scorpion's talking about. Beware of what you are projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection, right? So if you're harboring a grudge against somebody and you just can't stand it and you can't get over it, it might be something that deeply seated is something that your ego does that you try to overlook because you don't want to think that your ego has any sway over your life. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Now this could be for yourself, right? Or for your inner child, or even coming to understand that if you show love to your ego, it disarms it. When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. Okay, so this is all happening in the present. It's like going back and forth between this idea of, I'm not so sure about this emotional stuff, but it opens the gateway to basically all of the problems that are present, right? This is how you do it. How you do it is actually the emotions. This is saying, like, this is the work, right? The work is realizing that things are a sham and that you need to transform the energy and find some way to overcome the resentment for your stuff not growing. But the way that it's being done is saying we're sandwiching these mind games between this 12 and 13, right? Pluto, and if this is the night at an odd angle, it's telling me Hanged Man energy. Pluto and Neptune planets turning, creating this sort of sandwich for this Uranus retro. Is that Uranus retrograde? What is that? Aquarius? Yeah, Uranus retrograde energy. It's being sandwiched by these other retrograde planets to force you out of your head games into your emotional content. And once you're in there and you realize that what you're upset against is sort of a fragment of your own persona. And it's not to say, like, oh, if you don't like somebody else, it's just because they remind you of what you don't like about you. You're summoning these people into your life because you hate yourself so much. And that's really not the case at all. It's like they're there to trigger you, to create this like opportunity for emotional depth. Like, you might hate riding a bike, but if you go for a bike ride, you might come home with like a sore ass and, you know, athlete's foot or something and just bitch about it. Or you might go on a bike ride even though you hate bike riding and end up seeing like the most beautiful rainbow that you've ever seen and have a really close contact with a deer and have this like amazing spiritual experience. And that's kind of like what happens when you interact with other people, right? There's no right or wrong way. It's expanding your understanding. So we have lion and hyena. Wow. How about that? This doesn't even have a number on it. That's insane that they came out together. It's like the lion came over here. It's an allegory for Hamlet. Oedipal complex. Lion. Lion, where are you lion? I'm looking for the lion. I wish these suits were in order in this book. That really pisses me off. That's why I wrote the numbers on the cards, but apparently I have not looked up lion. French 145. Okay. So the future energy here with this pair here. The lion is patient, regal, and a complete master of the fire element, which is interesting because it's like you want to be this fire elemental here, even though you already have swords. And you're trying to be the Knight of Wands, but when you get through this emotional process, it's like, I don't need to, you know, set the woods on fire. I can just sit in my own power. Personal and spiritual growth, which could inspire or intimidate others. Again, it's the idea of, you know, is your ass sore or did you have a mystical experience? The lion is respected by all but known intimately by few. Some mistake the lion as hard to access or aloof. Do not waste energy and resources. Okay. So if you're hoarding stuff, you're kind of wasting it. If you don't need it, then why do you have it? It's a waste of your time and energy. Self-mastery is available to all, no matter where our quest begins, right? You could begin over here. I cannot brain today. I have the dumb, but you could still become the lion. Right? So we have peace and strength right next to the dark side of the moon here, apparently. This buddy hyena. Humor, wit, and sarcasm. Below the surface, there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. Express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? Okay. So we see a little bit of this energy over here. Right? In the future, in relationships, I'm like super in control of these fire elements. I'm chilled out, but maybe I'm still a little bit butthurt about my plans not going well. So we see this both in the future of the work and the future of the relationships. There's this caution towards, you know, holding on to like stale fire, basically. So the other two cards over here, Crow, and there's the unicorn. There's the other horse that I was talking about when I was talking about this guy. So the unicorn doesn't have a moon on his forehead. He's got a full fucking corn coming out of there. And then the crow. I think... Oh, and look at this, like the hyena. We have a moon here with the unicorn. Interesting. I think the crow in the Mystical Shaman Oracle was talking about making sure that you're not telling lies. But let me see what this one is. 65. So this one, in this deck, it says spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. A symbol of magic, right? So after all this effort, you finally start to get some magic back in your life. Drawn to the supernatural, has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. Holds within its mind's eye the three realities: the past, the present, and the future. Should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. balance your life with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. So this is psychic ability. So when you're the King of Swords, you can gain this fire power by tapping into your emotions and gaining this psychic ability. And my head is tingling, and that doesn't usually happen when I read. Like, crown tingly. Oh, look at that crow. Add an N. Crown chakra. Downloads, bitches. Look at the unicorn. My little unicorn. Pony. My little pony. I don't remember how that song goes because I haven't heard it in like 30 years. I don't know what the new My Little Pony song is like. Oh, okay. So this is just explaining what's going on over here. Reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. Like, is this real? Like, did I actually see this? Intuition, divinity, power and trust, higher power. This is waking up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. Contemplating the inexplicable. Right, so that's being able to sit and think without your mind becoming full of fuck. Or having the dumb. Right, this is, I can't brain today, I have the dumb, I'm a house cat caught in the blinds, and then over here it's like, roar even. Yeah, the third eye. The command center. Says the ancient yogis believed it to be responsible for our intellect, intuition, and deepest wisdom. Some say our two eyes see the past and the present, while its third eye peers into the future. And this is in the future slot, so... I feel like if I combine unicorn and crow, it gives me crown. Right? King me. So let me just get a few charms. Is that, oh, I was gonna say, is that the Kama Sutra? But it's not, it's the other books. I was gonna laugh if it was. I think that might, no, I was gonna say, I think that might be it, but I got another one escaping. Interesting. These are coming out weird. Okay, I think that's it. I think one of them fell over here. Oh yeah, there's one down here. Okay, so here's the flashlight over here off the end. I know it looks weird, but it's supposed to be light beams coming off it. So we got this illumination. Now the fox came out over here. This is like, I'm not gonna trust you till I know you. You might be out to get me, right? Like, are you gonna sell me some crap again? But it's like this idea of like, once the fox get to know you, it lights up with this sacral energy and is really sort of like joyful and ebullient. I think that's the right word. So I have Stonehenge over here. This gives me an idea of like shifting geometries and portals, and it's kind of like magic, but like mathematical, right? So if the King of Swords is going to do magic, where's my fucking thing? He's gonna do science and geometry. What are you doing over there? Calculus. Right next to the school books too. What is this? History and geometry. Did I not just say fucking math? And then over here, going the other way, I have the man figure. Right, it's like I'm not swayed by the machismo of, you know, parading around town, because I have my own power that I can generate on my own. I think that's good. So if you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up there, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. If you're seeing this, you're already on Patreon. If you want to hit that tip jar, and you can always go paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. I've got, links to the coloring books and prints and merch, and the full list of readings I offer and how much they cost in the description box of my infomercial video, which is on my regular at-large YouTube. The thumbnail looks like this, and I'm trying to remember to link them below these Patreon videos in the little description just to make it easier. But you can always just email me, and I can get you the list if you want a personal reading as well. So stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.